Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to the community call of OpenGuild today. In the today community call, we don't have any guest speaker, and we're gonna have a more like casual conversations related to I think like development environment and some interesting topic about the agents nowadays. We're gonna do less about like crypto and blockchain, but gonna do more about like experience like with working with agent. But before I start, the slide, let me introduce a bit about the Polkadot hackathons. Right now, we don't have the official announcement yet, but like in the upcoming months, we're gonna have an event for the Polkadot hackathons. So just a sneak peek that in case like you guys want to participate, and I think like this skill that you gather from to the workshop is also like very valuable for you to learn about necessary tools and framework for you to build with in the hackathons because they also like gonna be a track that requires use like some skill with like, agent development. Okay, so let's go dive into like the topic of today's community call. First, like let me introduce a bit about myself. So my name is Tin, and I'm a developer relation lead at OpenGuild. And I'm also like an ex like Polkadot graduate in like Polkadot Academy Grade 5. Currently like an engineer and working with like agent every day. So in like today's community call, we're gonna go through like 4 topics. The first one would be like setting up agentic like environment for prototyping, development, and go to market. Then secondly would be like technologies to build the agent effectively. Then like on-chain technologies for agentic ecosystem in Polkadot. For setting up like agentic environment for prototyping and development and go to market. So like right nowadays like there's a lot of tools that like you can pick to build you can pick like to empower your development environment. For example, like you're already like quite familiar with like ChatGPT or Claude or like Gemini. They are more like a chatbot, and meanwhile they also like another tools like cloud development environments like V0 or Replit or like both, or like some local development assistant like Cursor. For me, like I usually like use these main 3 tools. The first one would be like Cursor. So if you want to write code, review code with like IDE like interface, then like Cursor is a very good partners. That is offer you like all the tools that you need in like VS Code, and also like more power with like AI integrated. And Cursor also like have like MCP server in like have inside like Cursor, and with like Cursor you can also like pick between like multiple models. And the secondly would be like Claude. I think like you can use like Claude with like Cursor, or you can use like these two like, at the same times. For Claude, like you have like a set of agents that you can help it work in the background. If like the Cursor is more like VS Code, then like Claude is like the CL base. It's more like flexible in terms of using the agent on the terminals. And I think that using like the agent on the terminal is also like the most like natural way for you to interact with it instead of like you need like the interface like Cursor. But like for like professional development, then like I still refer Cursor. There are another like alternative to like Cursor like anti-gravity, which is a replacement to Cursor. And you can with like anti-gravity you can access to like free Gemini models and also like Claude Planner iteration as well. So I think like it either is based on your reference, you can like pick these like on these 3. Aside from that, like there's some also like more advanced tip. For example, like for me, whenever like you start developing something. For me, when you start like developing something, you can should like start with like the planner, then go straight to then like after you have a plan, review it, and if you're happy with the plan, like proceed to the implementations. Then you can like review the implementation of the agent, and if you like or don't like, give it feedback, and then like here is we should usually call it like an evaluate loop, like in eval cycle, where like you can keep plan implementation review feedback and then like again until you're happy with the result. The second one would be like you should be aware that like the context window of your agents is limited. If you don't like integrate with like third parties infrastructure like memzeros or like some additional context graph, then like you don't have like a larger context window. So like really remember to always like start new window whenever you can, so that you can like reset the context window of the agent. And it can also like think like in a better way, because now like the brand of the agent is clear, and then it can focus on like one man things at a time. So like whenever you implement a new features, new component in front end, just start a new Windows and work on it. The third one would be like provide skill to your agent. So like there's a lot of skill out there, like the front end skill, back end skill, but like to be more specific, like Vercel, they also like release like an agent skill set where like it's contains like all the React best practices where you can download to your cursor agent skill, and it have like all the skill needed for the agent to work perfectly with with a React code base and ensure like the security, the performance, and also like following the best practice of the React code base. And a more advanced tip would be the self-hosting your own agent swarm. So like you have Cloudflow V3s. So like these are like enterprise AI orchestration platform, and it's really smart because like now you can not only like you have one single agent that you can work at a time, but you have like an orchestration. You had like a swarm of or like a lot of agent, where you it's gonna like coordinate to work on like one specific task that you have. Depend on like how you configure your swarm, it's gonna like adapt and then do something for you. So for example, let me open this one. So for like AI orchestrations, we also have some interesting project like this Vibe Kanban, where like you can basically like manage all your agent, orchestrate it directly on like one Kanban dashboard, similar to like how you work with like Linear or like GitHub project. And then you can see like you have like all the Kanban board right here that to manage like all the agents, and each agent they have like their own execution runtimes and environment where you can launch like a new agents and then manage them or all of them in like management board. And there's also like an interesting things that you can do with your agent as well, where you have like multiple of them, so like working on like one same project. Then we have like the another one like like this Flow Nexus, which like to me is also like an interesting project where you can still like using like the tool that you're already familiar before, like Load or like Cursor, GitHub Copilot, or like OpenAI Codex, and like using like those agent tool. Then you can like launch like the sandboxes for each agent and also like orchestrate all them inside like one dashboard. And here like we also have an interesting idea of where this site is integrate like the crypto inside it to orchestrate the agent, where like you have an MCP console, and then you can like initialize a swarm for the agent, for like the agent swarm. You can spawn a new agent, orchestrate the task, and or like view the list of swarm, or also like scale up the swarm, or like destroy the swarm to clean up the resources. And like for each of them, there's also like some kind of like cryptocurrencies where you can pay to scale up or like scale down the swarm. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting idea around like managing the agent, orchestrate the agent. Yeah. But these are like some advanced idea, but most of the time, like if you only need some basic use cases for like agent development, then you don't need like to touch all those orchestrators. But like mastering them is also like a great way for you to have the mindset of building the agent. So now talking a bit about as we are talking about prototyping, is allows if we don't talk about like design. So like when you design a prototype, there's also a lot of agentic tool out there. It's quite interesting. For example, this Stitch tool coming from Google Labs, where you can also like enter a prompt, and then like you have like the design generated for you. And I think it's also like very valuable for anyone like, who build the MVP or like in the hackathons, where you don't have like a lot of times or also like the expertise to build the skill set around like designing. So in that way, like you can just enter the prompt and expect like Stitch gonna do the rest for you. The another one would be, I think it's better, which is like Figma Mac. This is more like production ready. in my opinion, and it's also like quite well compatible with like Figma because it's coming from the Figma, and then like you enter the prompts generated, and then you have like the UI component already. So in that way, you can interact with it, and then like designs similar to like the way that you work with like your Figma components. And because like Figma is already like the frontiers leaders in the design space, and it's also like have like an AI advanced. I also have like an advanced platform for like design. So in that way, like Figma Make is also like quite well better compared to like other platforms, uh, in my opinion. And now talking a bit about technologies that you can use to build the agent effectively. So like there's like open source framework, open source no code tools, agent platform, and voice agent. So depend on your use cases, you might like consider between these like agentic libraries or like framework. Um, these tools that we talked about before, like the the flow arenas or like the agent swarm orchestrators, something like that. Like those are some kind of like cyberpunk libraries where you don't see frequently. But like this library, I think is very well common. So like if you build in the hackathons, you also it's also recommended to for you to take a look at these tools, learn a bit about them, and use them to build the agent. Let's say like we have like LangChain, Llama Index, Camo AI, Agency Swarm, Grew AI. So like for LangChain, it's already like an industry standard for like building the agents. With like Llama Index, it's more like a tool of it's more like a library that focuses on like direct like retrieval augmented generations of like to build like the pipeline to handle like large documents. So like you might want to mix between these two to like build a solution for you. Or like you have like the Gray AI where it provide also like the AI platform where you can use to build like the agent. Yeah, you have like a lot of like useful agents that you can use to build to build your solutions. Then we also like have for example like in the open source like no code tool, you have like an NAN is also like provide you this hosted solution where you can like bootstrap your own server and then like use like the API to integrate to like to like queries the data or like make the changes to the NAN workflows. So in that way, instead of like trying to build like the agent workflow from scratch, you can like use like NAN, build solution on top of NAN, and then use the API to communicate with your platform. Or yeah, you also like have like Flang Flow, which is also like similar to the NAN as well, which is kind of like no code tools. And we also have like DeFi right here, but it's not like in the chart. We also a very enterprise ready solution. For agent platform, we have Agent Force, Relevant AI, let's say Microsoft Copilot. So like all these tools is more like a well complete stack where it have like a lot of well ready agent where you can easily use to maybe I think it's more like a suite that have a lot of agents for you to interact instead of like a solution for you to integrate in the underlying solutions. For voice agent, we also have like Eleven Labs, which is quite common in the voice sectors, where like you can use the voice API to like translate like text to speech or like in the reverse way. So yeah. For on-chain technologies to the agents, we have like some interesting things like the ERC 8004, the foundation of the agent economy. So for ERC 8004, so this is like provide this not like I don't think like this is on the Polkadot yet, but like this hackathon is also a chance for anyone like to build something similar to like this ERC standard, because like ERC 8004, why is the foundation of the agent economy is to provide like the agents like an identity, a reputation, and a validations to like Ethereum like attestation service. And like ERC 8004 like it's like a universal record of your agents across like on-chain. And in that way, like any explorer, marketplace, or like rating agencies, they can like when they communicate with this agent, they also like understand like have like some kind of KYA, like know your agent, where they understand about the agents and have like all the information about the agents when like it's interact with their platform. And the another one I think is also like quite popular. It's like X402 for agent payments. X402 is already like bring a lot of like hype in like Ethereum ecosystem and also like base ecosystem. So like to explain a bit about the X402 and why like how can it pay like the agent. So like X402, when the clients send to the server the configure with the X402, it's gonna send back like the 402 like payment require request, payment require respond, and in that way like the facilitator is gonna select the payment and rate the payload and then send like the X payment with the X payment record to the server. Then the server gonna send that to the facilitator to verify, and then if the verification work, then the settlement handle, and then it's gonna fulfill, then like the transaction confirm and then send back the payment respond to the clients. In that way, like the payment happens in like the times of like the blockchain, and it's only involve like one middleware, like which is the facilitator. Even though it's not like 100% like decentralized, but it's still it's only like act as a way to like verify. Yeah, so like in that way, like the agents can easily interact with like any like on-chain protocol, and then or like any like services and pay for like the service in the USDC, in like USDC, USDT, or like any kind of tokens, or like in dot. That like whether it can have like facilitators. So like one idea that you can also like bring to the hackathon is like to build the facilitator to the for the dot tokens. In that way, like any people can so that way any people can use the agent, like wrap your solution around their service, and that way the agent, when they interact with it, they have to pay in dot, so which is like a great idea to do that. So when you build for like the on-chain solution, when you build in like the Polkadot hackathons, there are also like some great ideas as well, like some like great frameworks that you also like be aware of. I think that we talked about like Polkadot AI Agent Kit already, which is more like a native solutions for like, in Polkadot that help you to build the AI agents using this library. And this library is like funded by the Web2 Foundation grant. And also like it's coming from like one of the member of like, the OpenGuild community as well. So like the Polkadot AI Agent Kit allow you to do like cross-chain like transactions, and like to like the prompts. For example, like hey, can you swap like this amount of tokens into this amount of token on Hyperbridge, like to like Hyperbridge, or like can you like mint an NFTs on Asset Hubs and transfer it to like a relay change, something like that. And that's how like the Polkadot AI Agent Kit is gonna work. For like more like EVM popular solutions, we have like Coinbase Agent Kit. This one is very well known in the EVM ecosystem. It's more like mature from like the Polkadot Agent Kit, but like it's like up the feature for like Polkadot. But like for EVM Agent Kit, you also like have a lot of functionality because it's coming from the Coinbase. Then like, it's native with like the Coinbase developer platform, and then you have like a lot of features that are well integrated with like EVM ecosystem, where you can like mint, swap, or like do some like DeFi stuff, whether it's have like some adapter that integrated into the agent kit. And yeah, so like I think like these two already like some solution that where you can consider using, or you can have like the another one like Elisa OS, where you can where you build like I think like Elisa OS is already a common framework since like 2024, when like the AI like the AI narrative is grow. And with like Elisa OS, you can also like build the agents and orchestrate and collaborate easily, because it's also like a framework. And the last thing I also like want to bring to the workshop is about like for every new protocol, there will be like 1,000 opportunities for the innovations. And like once this TCP/IP is released, there's already like thousands of innovation out there that build on top of TCP/IP, like domain name, website, or like real-time communications, or like collaborative applications. So there's a lot of like innovation out there built on top of this new protocol. So in that way, whenever there's a new protocol out there, there's a lot of like innovations. And like for AI, we have like new protocol every day that help like the agent to communicate. For example, like MCP, where like a single agent can invoke like all the tools easily without like worries about the underlying. Like you can treat like all the agent as a black box, and then you can communicate with them through the prompt. um, and for example, like one travel agent can like book a flight or like book a hotel, book a weather server, or like see the weathers to the MCP server, without worrying much about like what they do, because it's all black box and they can only send the prompt. That's how like amazing like the MCP server is. And then you can also like build a lot of services on top of it. For example, like Figma, they also like Figma build the Figma MCP, where like the cursor or like any agent can integrate the Figma MCP server, and in that way, they can retrieve the designs on in Figma and then use that to build applications based on the designs. So that's also like one of the use case. And like for crypto, I think that we can also like bring a lot of on-chain data to like the MCP server and help like the agent to retrieve the on-chain data. For example, like we can do some kind of things like event-based MCP servers, where like when they call the MCP server, it trigger like it send back like some kind of on-chain event, and then the agent can use that to do a specific kind of actions on for them. Yeah, and like we also have like X402 MCP server as well, where like for like all the MCP server, it doesn't have to worry about like payment, because now it can integrate the X402 MCP server, and with everything is that coming to that MCP server, like for example, like booking the hotel, it's gonna get to this X402 MCP server as well, and then like get paid in like crypto payment, and that's how it is. For A2A, which is like the inter-agent protocol, this is like a complex collaborations, where like for example, like one travel agents can like communicate with like not only the single one but like multiple one, and they can share like one single subtask. I don't have like that deep dive level expertise to discuss more about the A2A, but that is like how I understand about it. For like ANP, where like inter-agent protocol, I think like it's more like bi-directional communication between like the agents, not only like one single way, like like the MCP server, where like you only have one single way where the agent send the request to the same MCP server, and then you get the response from the MCP server like an API. But like for ANP, it's more like a bi-directional way, and then also like open like more use cases, and like more conditions that you can do parametrically. For Agora, you also have language to protocol generations, where the user, when they interact with the agents can get to the Agora protocol, where it's also have natural language understanding, where it's extracted key information, starting point, like protocol generations. So like generate a specific like protocol that match the need of like the agents, and then it's distribute that protocol, and then it's gonna pick like the right agent for your use case. So I think like that's some of the interesting protocol, where when you build the solutions on chain, you can also like consider thinking about like this protocol, and then like what kind of innovation that you can build on top. Yeah, and I think like that's also the end of my part today. It's a bit like shorter than like other community call, but I think it's already covered much on like what I want to share about like agentic developments, and some ideas, some way for you to approach to generate some idea for your like hackathon project. And I think like, yeah, thank you for like listening, and that's also the end of today's community call. Yeah, and thank you.